Alright guys, here we go. So this is the announcement. January 10th at the LPEC Center, 6 o'clock. Just 9 o'clock. 6 to 9. We are having a party. I'm having my birthday there. So come on down. You are all invited. You got music, you have food, you have dancing. I might be doing some sparring too. I would like to do some sparring and then do, oh my God. So anyway, Master Ty, thank you for hooking it up. But again, I need a DJ, King of Rock, somebody, Crazy Rock, somebody. I need a DJ. Anyway, we're doing some sparring. Today's the last day of the year, so we're going to end the year with sparring. And guess what? Tomorrow morning, we're going to start the year with sparring. Yes! Oh, also, guys, on the 31st, anyway, I'll announce that. We'll announce that. But here we go. You guys, we're going to catch you. We catch you guys while you're having hangovers tomorrow. We'll be working out. Here we go, y'all. Yes! It's the new style. Gotta be back. Have a nice whole floor. Go. Big round one. Nothing. Warning. Let's go. Yeah. He was outside, warning. What's the chill level? Happy early New Year. You got the towel now. Okay.
You get it now?
Yeah, that's it. So do that in mind. So if you notice, I'm doing some fakes. He's reaching back, responding with a roundhouse kick. Master Ty will be fighting in the 50 to 54 division on February 28th. We're finish off the year with some sparring, and we're going to start off tomorrow morning with some sparring too. So we end the year right. You got yourself one?
Yeah.
So end the year right and start it off. When most of the guys will have hangovers.
Much better?
No. I gotta go back to the chairs. So we can watch it out. Wow. That's 4 points, right?
Yeah.
He went out. To throw us with the hook? No, I jumped us with the hook. Oh my God. I gotta watch it today. He almost kicked me in the face a few times already. I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Round 2.
I just got out of the 9 to 5. Slightly.
Really?
But you think I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's it. Please.
Please.
Okay?
Yeah.
Move in the circle. Oh, no more.
Yeah.
Got it? Get to it. Ready? I wave it to the way. That's the shoe button. So you don't do that, you can go. Oh. Back twist. He jumped. That's another backwards. He almost got me with a kick. About 5 almost already. Today he kicked me. Hold on, chest on the point. Hold the backwards. This is round number 3, and there's no warm-up, so sometimes it takes a little while to warm up. It's hard for you guys to really see what I'm doing or what's happening, but obviously I'm putting pressure on him, and he's jumping up and he's throwing kicks, which makes me leery, because quite often, you guys notice those kicks almost locked. Some of you probably would have gave him a point for some of them, but it has to lock if it's a kick. Like it was before 1987. Lock the knee for 3 kick, otherwise it's just a chamber. Even though I know they've been giving points for that for years, but no, not under the UMAN rules. As I'm doing this, guys, watch to see what would be an actual point. And you too can become a sniper, or I should say, a UMAN certified referee.
Yeah. Don't worry. You look the right way. For the new year, the honor roll.
That's true. Yeah. No clash. I hit him to the body, I hit him to the head, but he did throw the hook punch.
The body.
Okay.
You see it more than I do.
Again, he's so close, but his knee is still bent.
That's right.
That was interesting. Going down, up. No different. Round number 4.
I think that's 5.
I think that's 5 points. So round 4. Happy, no excuses. Yeah. I'll give him the point because he's penetrated. And I was reaching to my wrist. 2-1. Watch. I like it. No, to the way. What's it do? Yeah. We both missed the final 4. Okay. Round number 6. That's how I'm really sure that I blocked it. And again, his kick, if he wouldn't be going backwards, would have stopped me, and he would have got a point. I can't read whatever you guys are saying, but we'll read it later. Thank you. January 10th at the OPAC Center, 6 o'clock to 9. My birthday! Come on down. Free food, music, martial arts, and dance. I need a DJ. I missed the follow-up. I've been missing a lot today, guys. But I'm able to make a difference after missing. I always compare that to the analogy of a rebound. So when you actually miss, follow up on the ball, get it back, and try to put it back in. Round number 7, starting now, I think. Yep. We're gonna do 15. Again, attack by combination means that I don't have to be as accurate.
Yeah.
One more.
I'll step back.
6. Oh, 7.
Yeah.
One more.
Another one.
I'll give him the point. Even though it wasn't a hard strike, it did touch the top of my head. And that was fast.
Snap a little more.
Again, you see your techniques.
Yeah.
Then the backwards hit too.
Yeah. Goes up on the head. Yeah. No, which one was it? No, good job with that. What the hell was that?
That's good.
I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
Outside.
Yeah.
Round number 8. Thank you for watching, guys. If you're part of the Unified Martial Arts Network, you can come and work out with me for free. No, we won't be sparring. I'll be showing the techniques that will make up an additional arsenal for you. The goal is for you to get better, so you look better at the tournament, and everybody wins. Plus, the curriculum is proven. This isn't just a sparring. He literally does fakes and angles and repositions that will work on just about anybody, and quite often on me too. However, what I'm doing is not cooperating, at least when I can do what I need to do. But if you notice, it's been at least 5, maybe 6 times where he almost kicked me. So if I would have taken a half a step, I should say, a half a foot back, his knee would have locked and I would have been hurt again, or I would have got kicked in the face. So I'll never not give him a point if he scores on me, but I don't want to give him a point from false pretenses. Sometimes I say, yeah, you got me because I was caught flat-footed or without a potential answer. So that's the only reason. And it's interesting, guys, because for those of you who are watching while we're sparring, and then you hang up when I start talking, Big mistake, because these are the jewels that will be in a sniper fight to sniper fighter instructors curriculum and handbook. So it's in the borderline. Got him. That was a complete punch. I want like this. Hopscotch. That wasn't easy. I threw an actual punch. You threw it backwards, right?
Yeah.
Now one of those.
I think I threw it backwards. I think it was a reverse punch.
I threw it reverse. So that you wanted to get it down.
Clash.
Outside. You're very good with outside. Right. That's 5. 5. So now, that's the first time I actually threw that kick. So he couldn't anticipate it since it wasn't previously done. So if you notice, I decoyed them by throwing the back fist twice. On the third time, I threw the roundhouse kick with his anticipation being foiled. And again, guys, this is where the money is at. If you rewind this and listen to it, you'll see exactly the jewels. That's what I do. I study myself when I'm doing these videos. Tomorrow is the new year, and we're training today to finish off the year right. We're going into round number 9. How many rounds did you do today? And then tomorrow morning, we're going to do another workout to start the year right. In between there, we're playing Monopoly or the Game of Life or one of those things. Thank you for watching. We're not done. It seems simple, but the fact that I started changing the style and hopping, I haven't done that.
Right.
So you didn't expect a basic taekwondo kick, which is a side kick. But the hopping got him hopping. And I think I threw the kick before you landed. So I saw nothing, and you saw nothing, and then at some point I'm in the ground, you're in the air, I kicked before you landed. Otherwise, he would have learned it. Now, I might be wrong, so we rewind this, plus it didn't look like I was going to kick, because my head was straight up, my body was straight up. And that's kind of deceiving, because most people lean to kick. Right. I use the counter here, so I just have no rush. No point. When we do our 6 and change, you know. Outside. I gotta use all of the moves. You know why? No. I'll give you a point, but no. It was extended already. Because he needs hand wraps. Okay, close this. Yeah. There's no way I can put it on. And I'm really good. That's the only time. God, listen. It's almost impossible, unless your hands completely closed, to not have the glove move out a little bit. So how do I know? I'm using the boxing gloves. Never do you see me go and fix it. I make sure that I took my fingers to the front, and that's it. I keep it here. Yeah. So I have my hands closed the whole time. Now there's a little, that's just more of an awareness that I have, because if I open my hand, I have a tendency of hurting my wrist, and I don't want to do that. So I'll give him the point, but I saw it was extending, and it was extending not because he did it on purpose. Because if your hands are not tightly closed, it will slip out, which happens pretty often. But to prevent that, you wrap your hands, so it makes it tighter here, so they won't come out there. And it's not really the best, it's the glove in itself. So I purposely go like this and keep it really tight. Now, I do not suggest you spar with these big 16-ounce gloves. However, if you do, that doesn't mean that any other glove will feel that much lighter. Like weights. Yeah, so it's almost like working out with weights. But not too heavy where it hurts my joints. Jack up your shoulders. Yeah. Again, I tuck it all the way in to make sure. I gave him the point not because of the strike, because of the way he entered. His entry was perfect. Not the execution, but good enough. Yeah. That time I put the kick out almost as a decoy first. Before I threw the punch at the decoy. This time I threw the kick at the decoy. He went exactly where he should. So like this. See the seconds, you went like this? I went. Know that?
Yeah.
So you went. So now you're the target. If I come, you can't really move. You have to go here to move. If you don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was 4.
Okay.
No. Again, I type my thumb down. That's 5. So I'm on 10. Class. See, that time, you popped it. That's what you popped it.
Yeah.
Third punch. Yes, great. Class, you got to do the reverse in between there. You do the first punch and miss.
Yeah.
And a second, you got it. Got to do the reverse hook.
Yeah. What's on here? Yeah.
He blocked the kick. I missed the punch. I do the follow-up. Slightly.
Yeah.
So again, if you notice, he's much faster than me. So I have to make sure I'm tricky. That was an inverted roundhouse kick. I didn't have confidence it was going to score, so it was one of 3 techniques. First 2 would have been fine if he would have cooperated, but he moves. So I had to rebound the ball twice. So the inverted roundhouse missed, then the initial punch missed, then the third one finally, it was light, it was more towards as he was moving. But my sneakers, are speaking. Let me show you guys. 1 second. Watch this. So my feet talk. See that? Hey, how you guys doing? My Master Fast Beat Fortuners saying these great stars last forever.
How many fights?
It's been at least 10 years. So whatever that is. You just tape the tape to the tape. Okay. Grab the bottom of it, close it, yeah, and then just put tape over. You gotta have big feet, and these are padded, better than most, so that's why I use them. I mean, I use them in a tournament because, yes, right, because they beat up. But I will be able to use my next ones, my other ones, for tournaments where I'm barefooted. Anyhow, round number 11 of the New Year's Eve birthday, I should say New Year's Eve, sparring workout. I'm Master Fast Feet, Jerry Fontenaz, and Master Ty at the Fast Feet Dojo. We're going to end the year, sorry about that. We're going to end the year with a great workout and start the year with a great workout. And most of you guys will be in your hangovers tomorrow. We will be sparring. Round 10. Start now.
Pain patch coming on. Huh? So pain patch on my come on.
That's the biggest break I've taken.
You got that in that one?
I got a mic.
Happy New Year's. Happy New Year's. Oh, they say Happy New Year's.
And victory. I would like to a little bit of that, but yes. Happy New Year to everybody. I wish you guys challenge yourself. Reno!
Happy New Year.
You saw yourself in the video? If not, I'm putting it again. New video up tonight. Perfect. See, after doing this, see, he hits me with that technique, which is my technique. So this I'm going to this. I lifted a hand for him to grip. See, when I'm in class, they'll follow. No one. What's in class? Broken rhythm. Slow down when we relax. 4. So that time, I went, grab the arm. Okay. Round 11. When was the last time you did 11 rounds? That was different, right? Yeah. That went this. I went. Yeah, lock the knee. Point. You got to lock the knee. I gotta kick him before he even thinks I'm hit him. I'm happy about that. He's gonna support. Again, attack by combination. So it went boom, boom, boom. That's hot. Yeah. Round number 12. So he was concerned about possibly hitting the top of my foot. Yeah. Not this time. You've done it before. Where your elbow, your forearm hit in the owie. I know similar. That's all right. Thank you. I don't have that much time. You walk out just for throw the punch wrong. Don't worry this. So the weapon before my body. What's that?
Round, right? Yeah, this is round.
I just want to my score. Well, punches before. The 3 points. You squeeze it over. So you got me too. Again, I have to wait until he's in the range where I don't think he can respond, or he thinks I'm too far to go. So that's why I'm catching him in between. That's an easier technique to see as a judge, but it's the most difficult technique to score on somebody because they have to be completely vulnerable. So sometimes slowing down, pausing, and letting the person reposition is the perfect time to attack them before their fortress is up, in the middle of the repositioning. It's equivalent to you have an army where all the guns are up, and then all of a sudden they say, move or flank to the right or the left. And at some point, they don't have the same level of efficiency when it comes to protecting themselves because the gun slightly goes down because they're moving. So you only have to catch them, not here, but here, in the middle of the step, which is not easy, but it's possible.
That was fifth point?
Yeah, 5th point, round number 13. Starts now.
Yep.
So if you look at it, oh, we're going to bend you. Was it backwards?
Yeah.
We walk with. Sorry, you wanted. Low?
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right. Damn it. Good. Can you get one more time? So this time, I got a warning for kicking to the back, which I fought in the AAU or Woko rules back in the days. Even in Bermuda, technique to the back of the point. Can you imagine that? So that was a warning, and then I threw it as a decoy to a verdict roundhouse kick to the backwards. I wasn't sure if the kick was low, he was gonna better me, but I was gonna follow up regardless with the back knuckle. To my surprise, the kick was a little higher than I thought. Which I tried it once earlier this round and I didn't make it. He tried it, he didn't make it either. So let's see if we can do something different. Again, Happy New Year to everybody. Guys, my birthday is January 10th. You are all invited. It's at the LPAC Center, 170th and Jerome Avenue, same location of the karate tournament. That'll be February 28th. So not this Saturday, the following Saturday, the 10th of January, between 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I'm still looking for a DJ. If you're a DJ, holler at me, please. Thank you. DJ. No, we have not. This is 13, we got 2. We got 2 in the right now. Outside. I want you to lie. I know you can do it before. I know that. I want every point. Use all your resources. Yeah. You don't lose. Did I get you? Yeah. Class, you got me too. Never do I do that. I never do that. I want to do that. Look. Handball killer. Floor. Floor. No, warning. So say warning. Body. That was hesitation. Round 14. Well, the last time you did 14 rounds, doesn't matter if it's point, full contact, continuous contact, still the same concept. You can diaphragm and breath. Use an arsenal of variety, as I say. Because even in the 14th round coming now, I'm still doing different techniques that I didn't do in previous rounds. So you can tap into and develop an extensive arsenal. Outside, no point. It's on the punch, like a hook punch. Because it covers more range. If I go straight with it, it ain't happening. Round 15 coming soon. Again, guys, the idea is to train yourself past fatigue, because that's when the other techniques come up. So in this last round, I'm gonna make sure that I finish strong, smart. That back fist to the hook punch blitz is not coming fast enough where I can stop him before he moves. So that's why I'm making it into a hook punch, because it covers more range. So I'm going like this. I'm still crossing, but not as fast. So I'm going here and here. So if you notice, it gives more range option, only because he's going that way. Now mind you, if he went this way, that would be caught on this side. But he was leaning towards my left, and that's why I took advantage of that. Let him go towards that spot. Do it a little slower than normal, so like that, it's hard for him to determine. And I'm doing wider also. Grab that hand.
Hand is ain't going nowhere.
Point. Point. And the battle about I got him. I do the punch before the table down. I call it a clash, but we noticed I threw 2 punches while he jumped up. No point. That was nice. Oh, sorry. Four. Three. You guys, you saw the miss, and then in the way, I came back there. Four. Out there are completely different. I'm not sure if the first one hit. That's what it is. No way.
Just about that.
A diagonal on house quick, come here. Diagonal backwards. So this might have hit you, I'm not sure. Like,
How do those? We got it on both.
yeah, we'll get a chance. So, so sir, let's hear some words. Master Ty, we're ending 2025. What do you think your progress rate has been since April when we started sparring?
I was actually feeling like Back to the last one in the tournament in Queens. I was actually laughing yesterday when I was acknowledged how much growth I have, how much I was improved from that tournament. Because I made a lot of mistakes at that tournament. You know, I pressed my way through it. Towards the end, my body started to get back in action, but I was way out of gas. I was literally coughing after it was over, because the deconditioning. So that was also showing me indication that the cardio needed to kick up. As far as my techniques, I was doing sweeps. That wasn't working. I think I tried like twice in that tournament. So my progress rate has kicked up a whole bunch from that last tournament in Queens, UMAN tournament. And from April, or you talk about from September?
From April.
When we started sparring.
When we started sparring in
like 2 years ago?
March of this year, when I said, hey, I'm going to fight in 4 weeks, and we started doing the slow-mo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, way different. Even an understanding of the techniques, what they call it in the fitness, duration, intensity, you know, intensity have picked up, opposed to just doing the slow sparring. Yeah, definitely progress rate went like from like maybe like a 3 to definitely like a 6 or 7.
Well, he's being very... Well, let's put it like this, let's be honest. When you spar with me, I know that it's difficult, but do you hold back?
I think a part of me does a little bit. A little bit.
Is it because I fake you and reposition you?
I think it's a little bit of everything.
Because what happens is that...
Not being aware of certain things, you know, it's like...
Yeah, but I'm saying, do you purposely hold back?
No, no, not purposely.
Right. It just happens, I get twin pauses. Like today, man, I'm a cheater. I come at you when you're not ready in the middle of the match, which is not really called cheating, it's called opportune time, because I created an opening by sometimes stopping or doing something silly like... You know?
Yeah.
And then the opposite, going this, and actually hitting with it, which I did today.
Yeah.
So again, like, if you rewind this and you ask...
There was a divergent in there.
Yeah, or something like...
Yeah.
And then switch it up to something like...
Yeah.
And they're the same techniques, but...
The flavor.
Yeah, it's just in a different sequence. Because we only have the same amount of weapons. Now, mind you, I feel pretty confident to throw my kicks, but I'm playing very conservative. Because if you notice, I didn't even throw but one kick to the head.
One Bronco today, right?
Yeah, I just threw one Bronco, one back kick. So a lot of those things, I just threw one of it. It's not so much that I did it in work, and they didn't. But at least I had a chance to check off on a list of techniques that I actually did. Yeah. So that's really what it is. It's just making sure that in your checklist of arsenal, you go through the entire alphabet from A to Z without having to hold back. You know, and that's really what it comes down to, guys. Anyhow, all I can say is that Ty's progress to me has been up to level 9. Especially if I stay in his range. If you notice, I came in his range and he went, and I didn't even move. Like, he got me, I was done. You know, like, okay, you got me. And that's something that I've done to people in the past, and I see him mimicking, and he does it great. I don't throw the hook punch as much because he throws it a lot, otherwise we'll be clashing a lot. But I did it today a few times. Or I should say, I hit the front hand a few times, and I was like, wait a minute. One of them seemed a little heavy, but only because of the angle of it. So it's not that I'm popping harder, but if you use gravity towards you, then gravity makes it where your technique comes harder. That's why, you know.
Like a sword.
Yeah, it is like a sword. You come in tic-tac-toe diagonal. You can come up the same angle and then go down the middle. And I throw, okay, I go like this. Tic-tac-toe, I go corner, center, center, center. Or sometimes I go corner, center. Yeah, exactly. Right. So I am in the middle of locking, so not rolling. Anyhow, guys.
Like the robot system.
Oh, it's called locking.
Happy function.
You know. How you doing, man? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, guys. So anyway, on that note,
See you tomorrow.
see you tomorrow. AB. Oh, here's our sponsor. Oh my God, ¿qué pasa? Está podrida. Don't be breathing over here. Put her in quarantine. Don't let the dog touch her. She's contaminated. Likewise, that's our neighbor. All right, guys. You remember Jiffy Pop popcorn?
No.
It was like
But
this.
I remember like the
Yeah, so it was a metal like little pan, and it used to go like this, and it used to grow and grow and grow, and it was like that. The Jiffy Pop popcorn. Yeah, that's Jumper. Anyway, guys, again, January 10th, my birthday. You're all invited over at the LPAC Center, and I'm also going to be set up a table. I will announce it tomorrow. But I'm excited, guys. I must say, I'm a little behind schedule. But behind the scenes, I'm really working on making your guys into the stars that you are. So I'm doing some extra marketing. And people say why I'm doing that is because you guys all deserve it. Those of you who compete deserve to get financially compensated. And also your marketing recognition. I never had a promoter do that for me, except for one person. Rest in peace, Great Grandmaster Aaron Banks. He got me on the Regis show, live with Regis, back in 1989. Before that, I did Ty Mark, the Last Dragon. So Ty wouldn't do the Burger King commercial because it was meat and he didn't eat meat, and he gave it to me, and I really appreciated it. That was the first time I realized that when you're doing media, there's a thing called residuals. So I got paid for my half hour of what was, videotaping, or I should say not videotaping, recording on a rooftop in the East Village section of Manhattan. And then they paid me a few weeks after. And they kept sending me checks for 2 weeks. And after the second check, I got nervous because it was a federal offense. I cashed it. Thinking, oh, what the hell? Then I called them. I said, guys, you guys keep sending me checks. And they said, oh, those are your residual checks. And I was educated then. I had no idea. I had no idea that was the way it worked. So, thank you to Time Up, 1986, Burger King commercial. It only ran for 2 weeks and I made $4,000, which is crazy when I think about it. And then, 1989, because of Great Grandmaster Aaron Banks, I actually had a chance to be on live with Regis. It was to promote the Oriental Wall of Self-Defense. And that wasn't even part of that show. Rest in peace to Tom Purdy, he's the one that hooked that up along with Freddie Lopez. And we have actually had Eddie Rodriguez was there too. Eddie Morales, I should say Eddie Morales. Yeah, it was kind of cool. There's pictures around there. And just to correct, for those of you who don't know, I started New York's finest karate academy in 1982. And then I changed it to New York's first sport karate training center in the Zuriga section in 1988. And then all these sport karate schools started popping up, which I anticipated that. That's why I named it New York's first. And then in 1990, I changed it to Functionist Karate. That was because of Toni Morrison, who said that would make sense. Anyhow, and that's where my martial arts career timeline is. Then you add the Billy Blanks fight at Madison Square Garden's Forum. That was on ESPN TV in 1986, where I took first place in the middleweight division, and I was the only New York in the finals in fighting. I won my division, and they put me against Quadrant and Billy Blanks, and the score was tied and I attempted to knock him out. That was my intentions, because I knocked out somebody the night before, and he had gotten knocked out twice that year. And with bad intentions, I went in there, and I got caught thinking in the middle of the match. I didn't even throw the technique, and you see I got hit, my mouth was open, and my jaw was broken, hence that's why my teeth were crooked. So I realized that you can't think in the middle of a match, you just have to respond. And that makes a world of a difference, because I don't mean react, because react entails that you have emotion, and sometimes most people overreact. Like tonight when I beat Miss Little Bit in Monopoly, she's going to overreact and get really angry. But, well,
He's crazy.
but, going back to the timeline, in 1988, I was sponsored by American Airlines, and that team had an incredible amount of competitors, including the legendary Marty Eubanks, and his father, rest in peace, Ken Eubanks, Toni Morrison, rest in peace to Jerry Prince. Dan Morris was the one that got me on the team, and Ray Nichols was the coach. We also had Mad Dog Curran and Jesse Thornton, and at one point, Robert Harris, and also Jerry Prince, rest in peace to him. Keith Vitale was a coach for a second. But anyhow, and I might be missing a few people, I apologize about that. Oh, Don Perdue, rest in peace to him too, another great fighter. And I finished number 3 in the nation that year. I was ahead into the last tournament of the year from NASCAR, which was the U.S. Open. Now, the reason I'm saying this history is because a lot of times there's a mystery and people don't realize. Now, my first Grand Championship was in 1983 at the age of 17, where I fought against Reggie the Snake Good from the Ninja Turtle system that did exist, believe it or not. He's the guy with the nunchucks. And he was phenomenal, and I was a big fan of his, along with Jesse Harris and Trent Norman and Andre Graham and Michael Powell and a few other ones. And they were from Dr. Edward Bowles in New Jersey. And these people were like superheroes to me. Before that, I was a Taekwondo stylist, April 19th, 1976, where I trained with Supreme Grandmaster Sang Soo Tiger Kim. And that was after I met my father in 1975, where he was incarcerated in the feds. And he had a VA check, and we used the VA check, or a portion of the VA check, to actually pay for my martial arts lessons. Now, I would have joined the school called Dynamic Dojo, where, and I forget his name in terms of his Muslim name, but Monroe Marrow had a school on 165th Street and Sherman Avenue, next to the Met Supermarket. But by the time I moved there in 1971, they had relocated, I think somewhere to 3rd Avenue or something like that. So I wanted to join Jerome Mackey's in the 1970s and late 60s, because I saw the commercial on TV, but I didn't really have we didn't have any money. And even though my stepdad told me a number of times that he would put me in, he just never did. And but I still, was a big Kung Fu fan. I saw the movie 5 Fingers of Death, and oh my God, I was completely hooked. And again, people made fun of me because when we played Cops and Robbers and they shot at me, I blocked it with my iron fist.
Honey, I'm
So
sorry.
that being the case,
Uh,
where is she?
she wanted to tell you something.
Okay, there's a commercial break. Yeah,
Shara.
yeah, because I'm live.
Oh, never mind. Oh,
We could do it in a few minutes when I hang up. So, going back to the timeline, my motivation, people ask me, what was your motivation in martial arts? Well, there were the TV shows like Maxwell Smart, where Agent 99 would chop people in the neck. And then the Avengers with Mrs. Peel, then Captain Kirk chopping aliens in the neck and all types of stuff. And then the 007 movies, also a motivation. And so, on top of that, besides the martial arts, Chopsaki movie, like I said, called 5 Fingers of Death, I saw the movie called Fist of Fury with Bruce Lee, which became the big boss, or vice versa, and I was hooked. We moved to the Bronx in 1971. I was born in 1966 in the Mount Sinai Hospital in Manhattan. And my first 2 years in school, I should say, my first 2 years in my life, I had my first two birthday parties. I'm at the children's ward because I was a chronically asthmatic kid, born with some spots in my lungs. So, you know, that was always in the back of my mind. I remember being, I would think between 3 and 4, forgetting how to breathe in the middle of the night. I never told my mother, but it was like I had to literally remember to breathe, and I thought that was just a normal thing. I didn't realize I had asthma. And but I do remember my mother saying, my aunts and cousins saying, "Oh, he's a sick kid, so well, you got him in karate." Because I was extremely skinny, like most teenagers. And we moved from 119 between 2nd and 3rd in Spanish Harlem, where my grandmother Santa Cruz ran a successful social club. She dealt with the I'm going blank on the name of the family, but they ran the 16th Street Club, and it was the Genovese crime family. Yeah, so she had to deal with them. She had to deal with other people such as Jewish mobsters. They used to loan money, or the Italian ones that had the furniture stores on 3rd Avenue. And my grandmother was a businesswoman, even though she only had 4th grade education. Now my mother, on the other hand, my grandmother was a Afro-American, I should say Afro-Latina, brown skin, around master complexion, and my mother was considered, which is derogatory, but they call it red bone or high yellow. Meaning she was very light skinned. And they often thought that my grandmother, which we call mama, mommy, I should say, mommy is what we called my grandmother, because that's what my mother used to call her mommy, so I copied and called her mommy. And then my mother, I used to call her mamita, meaning the smaller version of mommy. And then my great-grandmother was called mama. And these women were all warrior women. My grandmother showed me how to use a knife by the age of 4. And by the age of 5, I remember my cousins and uncles and people that were around, they used to almost like have a badge of honor to give me their pocket knife that had to be less than 4 inches. To make it legal. I think that might be the case even today. So imagine that. I'm in Spanish Harlem. I'm a skinny little kid. I have asthma. At least they all know I have asthma. I didn't even know I had asthma. And I have knives. But not just me. All the kids had knives. And so there's a rumor, I should say, there's a stigma, a reputation of Puerto Rican having knives. It's not a lie. We are from the knife culture too. But unlike the Filipinos, we didn't have a curriculum that I knew of, even though there was a Taino, which predates what today is known as Puerto Ricans. And they did have a curriculum for their war arts. And I'm going to look into that in the near future, because I do enjoy knife fighting, and I do love and respect the Filipino arts that I took some training with, not much. But I still spar with the mindset that somebody has a knife. So when I'm sparring, I make believe that there was a knife. So today when I attacked on an angle, it was like I was using a knife, except it was a closed hand. And the reason I'm saying this, guys, is because I'm in the middle of putting together an autobiography, and hopefully it will be finished by the end of the week. So I'm recapping some of the same history or quotes or notes to fill some blanks. Now, today I had a chance to speak to Henry Jackson, a.k.a. Mickey. And Mickey was one of my, I gotta say, motivations. He's the one that believed that I should be teaching martial arts, even though I didn't want to. I wanted to just train. And he was making fun of me because the amount of people that used to come, he said that I was a bully. Can you warp that for the chicken? He said that I was a bully because I used to beat everybody up. Well, I was a teenager, and a lot of people older than me. But to be honest with you, I beat men, women, and child. It didn't matter to me. Anyone got there, I was whooping their butt. And I developed, And I developed that habit from Jonas Nunez, who literally gave me my first black belt from around his waist back in 1982, when I said, hey, I'm fighting black belt today. And I was already beating everybody. The juniors couldn't mess with me. And he gave me that belt, and I started fighting black belt men because Billy Blank said, hey, you can fight black belt men. And that was 1982 at age 16. So by age 17, I was already a father. And just before I became a father, within days, I won my first grand champion, like I said. Now, my first tournament that I saw that was open as opposed to just Taekwondo, where everybody wore suits and everybody was Korean and everybody had white uniforms, I went to a karate tournament at the Webster PAL on 183rd Street, and they stunk like Tiger Balm. I thought it was Bengay, but, and I know that I was very sensitive to that smell. And the floor was disgusting. It was just a gym that was dingy and it was smelly, but it was awesome at the same time because there were hardcore fighters there, such as the gentleman who beat Howard the Flash Jackson, named Ramon Smith from the Dominican Republic, who happened to be a Taekwondo stylist under the Junri system. And there was also a gentleman by the name of Rupert O'Brien that I heard that was really good, but I don't remember seeing him fight that day. I know he was there because I looked at Karate Illustrated rated competitors for Region 11, which is New York, New Jersey State, and his name was there. And I hear from quite a few people that he beat the majority, except he didn't compete that often. I'm not sure if he's still around, but props to him. And then there was the dynamic duo. There's been a few of them. In this case, it was Speedy Wilson and Michael Look of Sledge. They were there also. But the person who won grand champion was a heavier, he didn't look like he could fight. He had a receding hairline, and belly was pretty big too. And out of nowhere, he would just, well, now we know it's called the blitz, but he just ran up on somebody and punched him. And that was Ron Henderson, who happens to be known as teacher to someone like Louis Bad Boy Ruiz, who to me was one of my motivations to even compete in tournaments. When I looked at Karate Illustrated, he was rated along with Luis Fernandez. And these guys were teenagers that actually were fighters, and I didn't even realize that they were teenagers until I spoke to them years after. So from what I understand, I believe at age 19, no more than 20, but at least 19 is where Luis Fernandez, we could check this, I'm going to tag him, won grand champion at the All-Americans, which was crazy because he's a Shorin-Wu stylist. And that was 1980, and I believe he beat Willem Oliver and actually swept him at some point, which was not a big thing in Taekwondo tournaments, but for karate guys and Oliver, Oliver, I saw him get swept one time by Keith Vitale on the way down. He scored on Vitale, I believe, or at least threw a punch. So those were techniques that weren't taught in Taekwondo, but they were done in Hapkido in terms of demonstrations. And I became pretty proficient at them, years after. But that's what I noticed, the difference between the Taekwondo tournaments, where everybody had a white uniform, and the karate tournaments, open karate tournaments, where everybody had a gray uniform. They were like shades of gray. The white uniforms was dingy, looked kind of light gray, and then the black uniforms were faded, so they were like dark gray. And then they got shades all in between. And I didn't think it was cool because I was down with hip hop, And I wanted to do something with flavor, so I started dyeing my uniforms. When I went to a karate tournament at one of the big ones, which was the Yin Yi Kwan karate tournament in Bishopport High School with Archie Rulin, rest in peace, to Anthony Lau, I dyed my uniform. I thought I was going to dye it red, but I only had one dye of Tintex at the time it was called. And it came out like reddish, more like peach. Then I had another uniform that I wanted to dye, and it didn't cooperate either. It came out lavender, bluish. And even though they were funny colors, at least they were original and nobody had my color. Then I took a white uniform that shocked people. It was a white top, and I actually wore that with a graffiti piece in the back of my jacket. Thanks to Vincent, I should say, Torres, who I'm not sure he's out here any longer. And I did a photo shoot wearing that uniform that came out in Karate Illustrated. A few times they used that even in Karate Kung Fu Illustrated. And I did the photo shoot right there in the hallway, the Fast Food Dojo, when they cleaned the graffiti, and I saw that background as a backdrop for photography. So, I was kind of crazy, so Mickey had me teaching them the Head Start right downstairs, and then years after, when I stopped teaching them, Mickey still took those kids using the same curriculum, meaning kick butt, blitzing, and lay down kicks and a whole bunch of stuff. Because as soon as I would learn something, like when Billy Blank showed me how to blitz, I came back and showed everybody. When I did the seminars with Joe Lewis, and I was his assistant 3 times, I came back and showed people. That's when I started learning how to fake and reposition. In addition to that, playing Roundup and Ring Olivia and Freeze Tag and Bulldog, all these games that based on speed and angles, similar to somebody shaking and baking when you're playing basketball, which I was pretty good at. I used that in martial arts too, and it worked throughout the years. My first student was Marcus Lee Ox Martinez. I started training him even before I started teaching in 1982. It was over at Jonah's basement because Marcus was my best friend. He still is to this very day. He's my son's godfather. The Ox was my schoolmate at William Howard Taft in the Bronx, where I never graduated. I got kicked out of the GED program, which is crazy, and that was back in 1983. So again, the reason I'm giving some of the details is because I take this content and I summarize it using technology and make it into lessons. So when I'm doing the sparring, it's for my workout, and then I take those inserts or those setups and repositions, I do voiceovers to them and put them over at sniperfight.com, which is an online school that I'm going to be having ongoing to teach people. So I was just thinking about, Danny was going on, but I was just thinking about how Tony Santana, the father, rest in peace, his son was my first student. I called him as the kid. The first student that I recruited, and when I went and got to teach the other kids, they were already there. So I brought in the first recruit that actually paid, I believe, was, I call him the kid, Tony Santana. And his father was the same name. He was a bodybuilder, showed me how to lift weights. Going back again, 1982. So, there's an extensive history that I have. In 1985, Fabian, who called me today, Fabian Carrillo, he actually did the movie called The Latin Dragon, which really happened, and he was the executive producer and star of that movie. And he did a second one too, where he put his brother in it, which was kind of cool, Carlos. But literally, we had a school in an abandoned building where it didn't even have any freaking windows. The windows was vinyl on the walls, I should say, on the windows. Almost like the movie Beat Street. And we went and bought these weights over at Dan Lurie's, which was a bodybuilding store in Queens, and put them inside there. And I remember it used to rain inside the building because there was holes in the roof, because pretty much it was abandoned. And in addition to that, some of that black will come off onto the clothes. You can't wash that with the rest, I don't think. I would probably hold back that with maybe jeans. Anyhow, so, AI is going to take this and put it into the proper timeline. Again, the significant years are 1966 when I was born, 1971 where I saw 5 Fingers of Death, 1971 when I moved to the Bronx, and there was the Savage Nomads, Savage Skulls, Young Skulls, and Baby Skulls in the immediate area. I went to CES 35 and 163rd, 164th, and Morris Avenue, and it's still there. Then I went to junior high school or intermediate school, Roberto Clemente, 166, which was just 1 block away from that, and 165th and 164th in Morris. And then I went to TAF and got kicked out of TAF because I was never focused on martial arts. I was never focused on classes, but I was very intelligent. I just wouldn't do the homework, so I couldn't stay in the school, especially after being a father. I had to earn some money. And because of Marcus de Ox Martinez, I had a pretty decent job in a sporting goods store on 42nd Street called Clark's. And I had so many sneakers, and Le Tigre Sports was the biggest thing back then. If you had more money, you got Lacoste Sportif or Izod Lacoste. And from there, I started working as an in-house messenger, pretty much doing paralegal work. Because in that world, it was crazy. The paralegal, I should say, the in-house messenger does the paralegal work. The paralegal work does the associate's work. The associate does the partner's work, and everybody does the work to the main owner of the practice. And I learned that. And I didn't like that because you never got paid for the work that you did. You got paid for the work that you did for the person who was your boss, which is kind of crazy. So I didn't like that idea, so I became an entrepreneur and started teaching martial arts again. But this time my mindset was a little different because I had a few dollars, but those few dollars went to an investment that ended up flopping because it was an abandoned building, which is kind of silly when I think about it. But we were paying $500 rent. And that didn't work out. But by 1988, I was able to get a karate school in 2351 Zurich Avenue in the Bronx. And that's when I called it New York's first sport karate training center. And I started teaching the techniques that I wanted to use, that I was using in tournaments that were proven. Not realizing that I wasn't a big market, but even with that, I still got 200 students in the first fiscal year. I learned the business from EFC, Educational Funding Company, where we became the most achieved new school in the nation, and had people training there, just working out. They used to pay a $20 math fee, I think, $10 or $20, I'm not exactly sure, probably 10, 1988. And they used to come from all over the city after they finished teaching. And I would never say that somebody was my student just because we worked out together and I shared information, because that's not right, and it's also not true. But that's not the case with other people. I worked out with people and they try to say they were my teachers. I'm like, come on, get out of here. You know, my instructor was Sang Soo Tiger Kim. I'm a product of experience. Yes, I've gotten degrees from a bunch of people that pretty much respected me or wanted to get credit to be my instructor. But I developed my own curriculum. It's been tested. I have students who literally have become multiple world champions and champions in life, whether they're doctors and lawyers and police officers and military and parents and business owners. And my attitude was that if I'm a black belt, I could do anything. So the black belt in life curriculum went from A through Z, from A, attitude, B, basic, C, control, all the way to Z, zenith. And that wasn't even me. That was done by one of my students, the Fata family, who also was the gentleman who painted that. That's John Fata. And Shrugs, as I called him, had a little kick. And when I asked him a question, he said, every time I asked him a question, are you hungry? He raised this, similar to a little bit. When I asked her, are you hungry? She goes, a little bit, tired, little bit. So even though she's small, I call her a little bit because of what she said, not what she does. So again, I'm looking at just giving a timeline to what would be all these different events. I did add my first karate tournament win in November, I believe it was November 3rd of 1976. That was my second tournament, and I talked about that pretty extensive. So anyhow, I'm going to cut this short right now because I am going to take a shower. It's right now New Year's Eve, and we just finished doing 15 rounds, and I'm excited. And tomorrow morning we'll spar some more. So I finished the year the way I wanted to with a great workout. And I'm going to start the year the way I want to also, which is a great workout. And I challenge you to take and make 2026 the best year ever, because that's my goal. You know, we're promoting the tournament February 28th, and stay tuned because January 31st I'm doing something also. And actually it's 3 days. It's the 31st through the 2nd, I believe. something like that. Whatever. You stay tuned for that. In the meantime, the jacket that you see here, the Taino Nation jacket, we will be doing something with that, so stay tuned for that. And of course, yes, I do have my super patches on because super patches what has helped me be able to go 15 rounds. If you notice, I drank no water. I did take breaks in between to talk, but at least I was able to talk. You know, this is layer number 1, layer number 2, layer number 3. And most people cannot do 15 rounds of anything, let alone sparring. And it's because they do not or have not raised their standards. They're using excusitis. Well, guys, what I can tell you is this. You just saw a fat boy, meaning me, that literally is about 30 pounds too heavy, working on dropping down weight while sparring for over an hour, and I feel phenomenal. And yes, I did have multiple layers, and this is the tournament t-shirt that you guys can still get, the collector's item, and we are going to have a new one for the next tournament too. Tournament is the UMAN, that means Unified Martial Arts Network, OG for older guys and older girls. It's a pro league because we give $3,500 in total of grand prizes, a grand champion, to competitors ages 30 to 40, fighting in forms $500 apiece, 50 to 60, the same thing, 500 fighting in forms, 70 and above, and the women get 500 for their sparring, fighting, and they also get to participate in all the forms to win grand champion based on the age also. And that's the second installment to what was a test over at this event here that happened September 20th, 2026, where Sport Karate went back to the future. The gentleman who actually wrote that article, Kevin Mongoose Thomas, actually competed too. And yesterday, live, I put a photo of a gentleman who was a judge, Grandmaster Halbert Lee, and he's one of 3 judges who've now decided to be competitors instead. And that's exciting because he's 70, and it's inspirational to think that someone that's 70 is the youngest person in the 70 to 74 division. We have 2 gentlemen that were interested in competing, one 91, the other one 92. And the youngest competitor that will be allowed to compete is going to be a 30-year-old because it's only a 30 and above tournament circuit that's broken down by every 5 years. And they have their separate grand champions. And we are looking for sponsors, so sponsor proposals. If you guys are part of a company that might want to put their hat into something that's really the Fountain of Youth Tour, because what it is, Region 11 launch, that's the name of the tournament. And we are going to do one in Florida, one in California, and one in Texas so far. And they are supposed to be done this year. The size of them doesn't really matter. And if you're watching this and you're from another country, yes, we will allow other countries to be involved to have your UMAN events. Since I started UMAN in 2006, and we had events as far back as 2007, including a tournament in Bolton, England. So that's where UMAN actually, it's where I actually started, believe it or not. But anyhow, it's time for me to say, God bless you. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season. This is the last day of the year. Next year, make it your best year possible. I pray that you are able to do the magical things that you've ever wanted to do. And remember, anything is possible as long as you're totally committed. And all-out massive action, such as attacking by combinations, increases the possibility. So I'll hustle yourself and get rid of the excusitis, because excusitis does not help. You know, I'm not sure of his title, but let's just say Grandmaster Thomas Hideko is a perfect example. Gentleman is in his 70s. He's traveled internationally, has been winning, I think, more in his 60s and 70s than he probably did when he was younger. I might be wrong. He's done from Korean styles to Japanese styles. He's fighting, I should say, forms and weapons, and he's pretty consistent. I mean, he won our tournament too. He's one of our champions. That's where you've heard his song and heard him in songs. And I'm excited and happy to say that, you know, we're doing it again. He's registered again. And I thank you, sir, and I salute you. Anyhow, guys, I've been a little long-winded, and I'm getting a little cold over here because I am sweaty. But I'm extremely excited. I'm Grandmaster Jerry Fast Feet Fontanez, the founder of the Unified Martial Arts Network. And I say, God bless, AB.
See ya.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you very much. Cheapo.